NATO troops will be deployed to Poland following Vladimir Putin's second drone incursion this week, Warsaw confirmed. The groundbreaking development, part of Operation Eastern Sentry, comes after Volodymyr Zelensky branded Russia's breach into Romania an expansion of war. Polish President Karol Nawrocki made the steadfast commitment following Russia's drone incursion on Wednesday, which also prompted NATO to trigger Article 4. And on Saturday, F-16s were scrambled after Putin flew drones into Romanian airspace during another attack on Ukraine. Details of Operation Eastern Sentry are classified, but it will involve a deployment of NATO troops into Polish territory. On Saturday, Romania's defence ministry confirmed a drone had crossed their border after Moscow launched an onslaught on neighbouring Ukraine. War hero Zelensky said the incursion was not a mistake and warned the West that the move was an obvious expansion of the war by Russia. Bucharest scrambled two F-16 late to monitor the situation following the strikes and condemned the breach as a new challenge to Black Sea security. The Defence Ministry said they detected a drone in national airspace and tracked it until it disappeared from the radar near the Romanian village of Chiliavec. NATO acted swiftly after the group vowed to defend every inch of Allied land earlier this week. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas called the Russian action a reckless threat to security. After the Polish incursion, Prime Minister Donald Tusk said 19 Russian drones sailed across the border amid a strike against western Ukraine, taking his country the closest to conflict since World War II. He said 4 were shot down by NATO fighter jets, understood to be from Poland, Italy, the Netherlands, the US, and officials later said 7 had been found on the ground. Although this marked the first time since the outbreak of war that NATO has directly clashed with Russia, jets have been scrambled many times without engaging. Kremlin spokespeople have denied there is any evidence the drones were Russian, and even outrageously implied they had been launched by Kyiv. Poland also claimed, again on Saturday, that it had deployed helicopters and aircraft to combat Russian drones close to the border. The country's military announced on X they were on their highest level of alert, alongside Allied aircraft. Tusk later confirmed the alert had been lifted, but cautioned, "We must remain vigilant." Reacting to Russia's continued aggression and threats towards NATO, US President Donald Trump vowed to place major sanctions on Russia. He said on Truth Social he would punish Putin on the condition that all NATO countries agree to stop buying oil from the tyrant's regime.
They're my friends, but they're buying oil from Russia. So we can't be expected to be the only ones that are, full bore. But Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough. And I'm willing to do sanctions, but they're going to have to toughen up their sanctions commensurate with what I'm doing. Well, I'm ready to move ahead, but they have to do it. I think they will. But right now they're talking and they're not doing. Look, they're buying oil from Russia. We're not buying oil from Russia. They're buying a lot of oil from Russia. That's not the deal.